Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to do a disassembly on the Kizer Hawk. And the reason I wanted to do that is because when I did the unboxing, which posted earlier today, I actually did it yesterday, I did not know some very cool details about this knife, and I thought it would be a great idea to talk about those. So you guys can actually visualize it. We're going to take it apart too to show you. But this has what is called Kizer's Snapecho system, I believe is how you say it, Snapecho. And that is a sort of detent post system. And then there's a dual stop pin as well. So we'll take it apart and we'll take a look. I'll show you their sheet that explains the system. And then we can also take it apart, obviously, as I've said 4 times. It is DLC coated on the blade. If you saw the video yesterday, you saw me take a bit driver to it and try to scratch it all up. There is a scratch that I can see on here somewhere. I can see it. You can't. It's right here. And I don't know if that was from me. There it is. You can kind of see it. Or if that was already there. So I thought what we could do is take a look at this side. Let me get some alcohol here. Wipe the blade down. Take a look at this side. And I don't see any scratches or anything on there. Go back to the bit driver and try to mar it up and see, see if we get anything. I'm not putting a ton of pressure down, but you can see I am, pushing down. It's not, if that was a regular blade, which, do I have some knife I don't care about here? I could demonstrate. I don't. But let's see. We will take the alcohol and, of course, wipe it down again. And we'll take a look. So this is the side that I just went ham on with that bit driver. And I don't see anything. You guys see anything? I see nothing. So I think that scratch was already there probably before they ever even coated it, is my theory. Man, that detent pops. So that is the Snapecho system is both responsible for the amazing detent and the fact that it kind of double clutches sometimes. Remember I mentioned it had a late detent in that video? That is part of this because that post sticks out. It is harder to overcome than a standard detent ball. So when you push the lock bar, you have to push it further than you would on a standard liner lock. Now, it's not difficult, but like this knife has a standard detent ball. You can see that ball right there. Not very big. And I believe it also has a detent ramp. So even if I disengage it here, I can easily just go right through that detent and it'll shake down. Where on this one, if I do that, oh, I can clear it, it looks like. Well, maybe I was already past it there. Yeah, if you shake hard enough, you can get past it, but there's physically a pretty strong barrier. And it's also, when I did that video, I was going like this. Like, what is that feeling? It felt weird. And that's because it's clearing a post, not just a ball. So let's take a look inside. I do have my coffee here, which you could classify as sweet cream, whipped cream, extra creamy, and a little bit of coffee. So let's take a look this time, because on my last disassembly on this knife, I just started taking it apart and I got the pivot out from this side, and then I was like, oh shit, the screws come out this side. So you can tell we have the same kind of setup here. There's no visible body screws over here, but there are here. So we want to take this screw out if we can. I believe this also has a multi-row bearing system. So we'll take a look at that. I don't think I'll put skiffs in even if I can, because I'm going to pass this around. Whoa, look at that. Is that a double D? Are we calling that the double D pivot, guys? It's a double D pivot. I love it. Real quick before I forget, let's look at that sheet I was telling you about. Search, Kizer, marketing. Da, 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 da. Here's the sheet. We're going to slide on down to the hawk. Here it is. And you'll see here, Snapecho system. Dual stop pins, so I guess that's for ultra lockup. And then, because they both are contacting, right, on open. It's not just like, a lot of knives have two stop pins, one for close and one for open, but I think they're both there for open. And then you have a pillar, they're calling it, for the detent. They don't mention the double D. Pivot, you have a giant detent hole because it's that pillar, and I'm going to show you something interesting I found out about the knife. We have a backspacer, okay, and a collar. So they're just showing you that they have different materials for those on some versions. Liner lock with Snapecho system, double row ball bearings, silky smooth action, dual stop pin, offers extra safe lockup. So that's what the dual stop pin does. The double row bearings give you silky smooth action. And the hand texture, hawk element pattern design. It is a flipper and a thumb hole sheep's foot blade, titanium milled, sleek and strong. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. Let me see if it says anything about Carlos Elsner, who designed it, if he says anything about designing the Snapecho. Carlos Elsner is often innovative in folding knife designs, and his unique style often makes designs stand out. A hawk like a beast knife, and I designed it to be a strong detent knife. Hell yeah, Carlos. That's my guy right there. Love you, Carlos. All right. I don't know him. I'm just saying I love detents, and he loves detents, so he's my guy. You know what I'm saying? So we have screws that go through the frame and into the scale on the other side. Very cool. I do like that setup, so you don't have hardware showing on the other side. The clip does not seem to be structural, so let's pull. Oh, this is the thing I wanted to show you. So you'll see here, I can actually release it from something. I don't know, the detent hole or something. And then you have a little bit of lash here, or play, whatever we want to call it. Yet, it still has a good detent at that point. But you get that double sound because it comes out of here. You heard that first click? Let me zoom in to show you. Once you do that, you can't put it back until you open and close it again. So I don't know what that is. We're going to try to figure this out. But, man, that detent feels good. Look at that. It's still almost centered with no pivot screw over here. That's kind of what that double D gets you. All right. Let us see if we can pop her off. That's what she said, or he said, or they said. So we got it loose down here, but the pivot is not coming loose. Let me get a pry bar. By the way, let me know what you think of this mug. This is a Jack Wolf Knives Deneen pottery mug. As soon as I got this, or actually I got this because Colin and I were thinking about getting some made for Divo, and I wanted to test out some. So we got this from Jack Wolf, and I love it. So we already ordered 2 different logos for Divo knives, and there's 4 different styles of mug. Well, 2 mug styles, 4 colors. Anyway, let me know if you're into that. They should be like, I don't know, 30 bucks, something like that. They shouldn't be too expensive. That one was 40, but okay, something is going on here. So maybe that clip screw is doing something. Let me just be sure of that. I don't know what it would be doing. Nah. But it seems like something is, see there's like a liner on top? See that liner? It's like sticking. The scale is not, but what is holding that liner in? It must be internal in there. So I need to like get into there and try to pop that liner up. Trying to be gentle, I don't want to. Whoop, okay, there goes the back spacer. Yeah, that liner's like really stuck on there. See if I can just wiggle it back and forth. That sometimes works. Give it the wiggle waggle. Can I pop the detent out? Not the detent, the ball. The pivot. Jeez, Kev. Harumph. Let me see what happens if I... Can I? No, can't do anything there. Okay. Yeah, see, that's loose. But that piece in there is not. It's stuck. So I need to get something in there to pop on that. Let's see if that works. What is going on? Does not want to budge, dude. Looks like a cool system. I just want to get in there to see it. So the liner's held in by a screw down here, but I can't get to that screw right now. Oh, wait. That's just the lock. Oh, great. Now the lock is on the other side. This is not good. This is not good. Dude. Come on. Shit. Now I can't even. Alright, we're gonna have to try to get this loose. Suckers. On there, dude. I don't think that's coming out. I think that's somehow welded onto the... Man. Let me try this guy, see if I can get this in there. Just put a little pressure on this freaking liner. It's in there, it's just not... I don't think that was doing anything. Yeesh. Dude, Kizer, come on. Gotta be able to disassemble the knife. It's very, oh, okay, this is good. Good. All right. I think I can, let me just try it. See if this helps, because this is removing the liner. That'll let me get the scale off. In theory, it should. Unless there's another, there's nothing else holding it in. Right? Look, it's literally coming off. Okay, we got the scale off. So now we can at least figure this out a little better. So you can see that post is kind of welded on. Some kind of, I forget what you call it. Okay, I got that loose. That's good. So this liner just does not want to come off of the pivot. It's like really on there, dude. I mean, come on, boss. I mean, there's really no... I don't see an issue. And there's no way they want you to take it apart from that side because the screws are on the other side and I couldn't loosen that side. I'm gonna try to pry this a little more and see if I can get it, but I mean, it's not budging, dude. God damn, dude. It's really in there, dude. It's like they freaking pounded it in. They didn't expect anybody to take the knife apart? Like, I don't understand. Harumph. Now this is... I need to get this lock bar. If I'm going to put it back together, I got to make sure I keep it like that. At least we can see the detent hole is huge. And you can see that the post is welded on, or whatever you call that. Soldered on. Jesus. I'm pretty sure I'm not getting this, but I'm going to try. I don't even know where it is. I haven't busted out the old, there it is. I haven't busted out the old Weeha in a minute. T10, T8, T8. The stubber. Let's see. Okay, it's moving. But I think we're just, well, let's see if this does anything. This was for that liner. Gotta be careful there. So yeah, that's just removing the screw, but maybe that, okay, so this is just a regular show side pivot. So now we should be able to take it apart from this side. Jeez. Heesh. All right, so what did we learn there? We learned that you really want to take it apart from the front side, which is ironic as hell. Because this does not want to come out. Like it's just not coming out of there. So you're going to have to take it apart from the other side and just put those screws in. It's, you know, it'll be a little weird, but it'll work. Basically what I did in my Geeone disassembly, watch that video, and that's how you want to take this apart. So, now that we successfully took it apart, let's take a look at it. So we have the blade, right? You have that giant detent hole for the post. It is passed through, which is nice, so gunk can't get in there, or, you know. Here is the lock bar, and here is that post right there. Let's zoom in on it. This is essentially what they're calling Snapecho, I guess. And it has something to do with this post. I don't know. We've seen flattened detent balls before. We've seen posts from Hoback before. He has this system where you can actually tighten a screw and it gets deeper and shorter, which is pretty cool. I want to find out if that's metal. I'm pretty sure it's, magnetic. It is a magnetic steel. So you don't have a ceramic detent ball. So it's not going to be quite as smooth as a knife with a ceramic detent ball, but it's so drop shut, you don't even really, it doesn't matter. Man, this thing is really in there, huh? Look, see how, now you can see it. It's like turned a little. It needs to be just cranked over a little bit. Let me see if I can get it with the Knipex. Maybe this is just a bad example. Yeah, I think I can get it out. Oh, wait. So I can rotate it in there. See, that's loose. Sorry, this is where it needs to be to come out, right? Just about there, maybe a little further. Doesn't want to go any further. And I cannot get it out. I don't need to at this point, so I'm not going to mess with it much, but I can see the D shape on both sides. That is wild that they did that. Looks like I got it lined up right. It's just a matter of, you know, getting it out. Whatever. Not worth it. But yeah, that's how they get that Snapecho in there. Okay. And then you have multi-row bearings. These are solid. They're Teflon caged, but it's white Teflon, so it's the good stuff. You could put skiffs in. You would want the 18 ball skiffs. So you would want these. You would want these to go in there. But you're really not getting more balls, I don't think. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you'd be getting 2 more balls, I guess. This one has 18. They also make a skiff with 16. I worked with Skiff to have those made to fit like the Brian Brown Jaeger and stuff like that. But this size is huge. You could easily fit the 18, no problem. So, I mean, we could swap it out. I just don't really, I don't see the point, especially because I'm going to pass it around. But you definitely could do that. But these are the type of bearings that I usually don't mind. When they're in a brass cage with an S end, that's when it bothers me. So this says Kizer S.S. I don't know what that stands for. S.S. Kizer S.S. I don't know. Interesting. Let me know what that means. I'm sure I'm just forgetting something. Here's that frag pattern. Micro milling. Really well done. Back spacers right here. So I talked about in my video yesterday, this kind of feels or looks like plastic because it's got that polish to it. And I don't mean that in a bad way, even though I guess it sounds bad. Here's the other scale, milled out, very nicely done. It says Hawk right there. Very cool. All right, let me zoom out and we can start working on getting her back together. If I can figure out what that popping is, we should do that too. So there goes one pin there. And then the other pin, obviously, is going to go, it's going to be that one, I assume. So let's put this back in. Yeah, that's that other pin. So this was really in there. I had to like really wedge it out. I'm hoping this all goes back together fine. And I didn't even think about it, but I'm pretty surprised this is a T8. Be pretty easy, I feel like, to snap the head off of this thing, so I'm going to be careful. It was pretty tight, though, so You don't want it to loosen, obviously, so I'm being careful. But you don't want to snap the head off, so there's that. Hopefully we didn't mess with the lock bar at all with all that kind of getting stuck and whatnot. Everything's pretty clean already. DLC tends to stay pretty clean because it literally, you know, it doesn't get scratched or anything. Oh, look at that. So there's a bearing pocket on this side of the blade, not on this side. And then there's a bearing pocket on this scale and not on this side because this one has that liner. So that's one way they were able to keep it thin, I guess. Pretty cool. And you don't have a washer on one side. So another reason not to put skiffs in, really, because you cannot swap the, you can't flip over the washer. Here is that washer on the other side. You can see right here which side was used. It's this one. You can see the little bearing tracks. Put that in. And let's see, I guess I'm gonna do the bearings here. I don't think I cleaned them, but there is nothing on these things. So they put them in there clean. And that is one of the benefits to this type of bearing is it's a Teflon cage, so it doesn't need lubrication, and then it's ceramic, so you can technically just put these in without lubrication. Then you don't have to worry about, you know, adding lube, taking it apart again later, that kind of stuff. Won't get gunked up. You can just blow it out. All right. So I wanted to see, so here's the backspacer. That must be held in by there's little posts there. That's pretty cool. There's little posts. Hopefully you can see that hold the backspacer in place. Pretty neat. Is that the correct position? I think so. All right. So let's drop this on. I don't know what would cause that little like release that I was feeling. Let's see if I can feel it out. But so let's just, that bearing's gonna pop off, but I just want to feel this. So there, oh look, you can even see the detent ball. So let's see if we can track this. Ugh. All right. So right now it's in the detent. See if I can repeat that sort of. Yeah, so now it's out of the detent. That's not helping. In the detent, fully seated. See if I can get this completely in place so that it's more realistic. Okay. No movement. I can kind of, it's like a little bit of movement there, and then it pops. There it is. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I can see it. Sorry, can you see it? There's the full break. Okay, it's in place. You hear that? Or see it? What am I moving on right now? And then there it popped. I honestly have no idea what's going on there. I don't know if it's something to do with the stop pin or... Very interesting, though. So that stop pin also is supporting the close position. And then you have that one for open. And this one also, I guess, let's just see. Pop. Yep, open, open. Interesting. Oop. Yeah, let's just see if this thing goes back together. All right. Actually, let me get it out of the detent. I don't want to. It is... right there. Everything is in. That stop pin's going to sit in when I get this down. Okay, so that's all in position, hopefully. Ugh. Bearings are in, everything's in. So we'll drop a washer on. Start with this pivot screw here. Let me zoom out. There we go. Okay. Really hoping this goes back together. Okay. So far, so good. It's pretty centered. Let's just see if it works first. Look at that. It's locked up too, like a bank bolt. Wow. I mean, you gotta give them props on the construction. It's freaking, it's a tank, like he said, you know? That's what Carlos was saying. He wanted to build a tank, but was also concerned about having a good detent. So I think he succeeded, that's for sure. You just gotta make sure you take it apart from the other side is the key, I think. Otherwise you're gonna be, you know, pissed off like I was. Yeah, this clip is not secured, is it? No, I think it can notch in, I just missed it. Why is it shifting like that? So there's a notch, it's very shallow. But there is one there, let's just see. What is going on here? It's very hard to hold this clip because it has such an odd ramp. Yeah, it's almost like no matter what I do, it's not gonna seat into there very well. It's just assuming, I guess, you tighten it enough that the clip will get it down into that cutout. We're gonna find out in a second here. I'm gonna try to crank it down a little bit. All right, it's as tight as I feel comfortable doing it. Yeah, it definitely moves. It's moving within that little pocket. That's not ideal. I wish I would have tested that before, so I could say whether I am just doing it wrong or, you know, Okay. We are good there. No play at all. It's a tank. And the action's still right there. Now the centering, another thing I should have checked before, but it's really close. Really close. So, don't think it really is going to be affected by tightening the pivot, because let's just see, this is the side that we should have been loosening. So let's see what happens when I loosen this. Yeah, it did shift. So let's see if I can. Yeah, it's pretty perfect. It's not dead on, but it's good. And I went a little tighter than I wanted. There you go. Look at that. No play at all. Because of that double stop pin system and the way this pivot is designed, you can back off the pivot a little bit and still won't get any play. That's a really cool system by Carlos or Kizer. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes I get caught on the pivot or on the detent nub. I just don't. You have to push the lock bar far enough. If you push it far enough, you have no issues at all. But if you kind of just don't get your full thumb on it and you kind of, you get stuck, it can suck. But you get used to it pretty quick, and then you're just nailing it every time. So now this is still there, but now it's actually more. Now it's happening right away. I don't have to pull it out first. See, I'm getting that detent lash right away. Now it's not detent lash where it's actually moving when I shake the knife like that. You have to kind of physically pull it out, if that makes sense. Normally detent lash is the blade is kind of just freely moving around inside that detent ball. But this is like, I kind of have to create it. So I wouldn't, I don't think it's a negative really. It's basically just like a Sharp by Design knife where you get that little bit of detent lash feel initially before it breaks that post. Does that make sense? Or the nub. But somehow from factory it was. Now if any of you have this one, so please let me know if yours is the same. I had to actually pull it a little bit and it would sort of make a click sound, and then it would be loose in here to have the detent lash. But after that disassembly, now it's just like that. So I don't know if there's like if there was a burr or something, but I'm guessing this is the normal setup because that's exactly how a Sharp by Design knife is. So similar concept in that. And that's one negative I have for Sharp by Design and other detent post knives. And it's why I've never done one myself, because I just don't like that you have that little bit of lash that's sort of built in. Even though it's not technically, like you can't shake it to feel it. It's hard to explain, but anyway. That is about as thorough as I'm gonna do a breakdown on this knife. I really like it. I think it's a great concept. I think Carlos did a great job with the design. I think Kizer did a fantastic job with the execution. I do think you should be aware that you want to loosen the pivot from this side and then the body screws from this side. Obviously you have to. You do not need to remove that clip screw. And hopefully then you would just be able to lift this off and take it apart from this side, as opposed to what I had to do. And there you go, I got stuck again on that post. Just occasionally happens, but overall, 9 out of 10 on this knife. Excellent, excellent work. And you guys know I love a great detent feel, and that is exactly what this has. But I'm gonna roll. My wife brought in our son. He's in the bouncer behind me. She had to go to a appointment, so I'm gonna keep an eye on him. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Disassembly, reassembly of the Kizer Hawk. If you need skiffs, pick them up at skiffworkshop.com. Use my code LeftyEDC. You want the 6mm 1/16 18 ball pivots or bearings. At least I'm pretty sure it was 6mm. I guess I didn't test the actual pivot size, but I am 90% sure. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, a great Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.